Happy Monday, Grand Rising, and welcome, NoomVibe. Hey, y'all. This is your host, Andrea Young, and you're listening to Andrea in the Morning, Grand Rising. We're just going to do a little power up here today. Hopefully, help you kick your day off, your week off on the right direction. Bear with me one moment while I share the live and let everybody know that we are here. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I was just listening to Daryl. He does a early for me anyway, noon o'clock show. If you caught that, then right after we get off here, he's going to be continuing that discussion and talking about kind of along the similar lines. And I wanted to share that with y'all because we're doing a power up. Yeah, and I really enjoyed what he was talking about. Just little ways, tricks, if you will, technologies, if you will, that we have for just kind of, like I'm saying today, powering up. So we're going to get into it after we share the live, let everybody know that we are here. If you follow me around social media, you may have noticed over the weekend, I always share what I'm listening to. I'm not always at home and stationary, so I might not be doing it exactly that way on the weekend. I might be traveling or something, but usually if I'm doing my weekend thing at home, I will share across social media, and then you can go and then follow the playlist that I am listening to. If you don't have your own playlist, you gotta get one because it is so much better to kind of control your playlist than to just leave it up to the mercy of the algorithm. Yeah, especially if the algorithm doesn't know you yet. The algorithm kind of knows me, but even then, I might not be in the mood for what they think I want to listen to. You know, um, I don't know if the algorithm necessarily understands my vibration. If I have the chance to talk to it, of course, I can tell it, be specific. But in general, I don't know. I don't leave it up to the music app algorithms. I don't leave it up to them to decide what I'm going to be listening to. Okay. So we are just sharing to Instagram, and then we're going to share it over to TikTok. Let them know that we'll be live there as well. So if you don't know my background, y'all, I taught fitness for a while. When I first started my brand, I was a fitness instructor. I am not now. I do not teach fitness, workout, wellness, anything like that. But I did for a while. So you'll hear me talk about it. I have a lot of tips and tricks and things like that when it comes to like working out, staying in shape, movement, staying active. But you will also very much hear me say it doesn't take all that. You've heard me talk about a program that I did a few years back with a couple of my friends. I have a lot of friends who are personal trainers, coaches, fitness professionals, therapists, doctors, etc. Right? Just because of the nature of my training. But I did this really amazing conference with some friends of mine called Workout from Home with No Equipment. And it was one of the most fun things I've ever done. And the reason it was so awesome is because I feel that way, but both of the people that I was working out with also feel that way, and they like run gyms, right? Like one of them, she does kickboxing. She runs a 9 rounds gym. The other one, he's a physical trainer. He's all buff. He does like what do you call it? What do you call that stuff? CrossFit. Yeah, that. And lifting weights and stuff, So even across, and I was teaching Zumba at the time, and I was a beach body coach. So across our completely 3 different lifestyles, ways of doing things, ways of teaching our audience members, our clients, we came together and we did this training, and it was super awesome. Because I don't think some of us even thought until we did this, but a lot of people don't realize just how much you can do from your house. And then we went through a period where we had the whole COVID thing, and that kind of opened people's eyes up to it. It made people really more open to just anything really that you can do at home. Not just doing stuff at home, but also teaching stuff from home and sharing stuff from home, right? Um, it wasn't all that easy to do that. It's a lot easier to do stuff from home as an influencer, as a coach, as a teacher, trainer than it used to be. A lot easier, right? The systems kind of lined up to meet us. And that is good for all of us, whether you're a coach, trainer, person or not, because now you have access to more resources and information. Okay, so there are all these people on the internet now, and this app that we're meeting on right now is a perfect example of you can find anything, you can find anybody, any kind of support, help, whatever it is you need, you can find it now. Way more than what we used to have. Um, and so the whole workout from home with no equipment thing has become even more doable, because even if you have no idea what to do, like no clue, you don't know anything about working out, and you feel like you need a physical trainer, you can find one on this app. And if nothing else, at least a program that can help guide you through and help you put together a plan. Because y'all, the personal trainer's job is to help you put together a plan. They're not going to do it for you. They're not going to hold your hand the whole time. And even though they're kind of motivating, right? They might be boosting you up whenever you're working out. Come on, you can do it. 5 more reps, right? They're still going to give you homework when they're not around. You're going to have to do stuff on your own, right? Sorry about that, y'all. I got a call. I thought, and my do not disturb is on. We've had this conversation. I just don't know. Anyway, um, um, certainly they're going to give you some practices that are going to stay with you um, longer than you're just working with that person. So they're going to give you homework. It's not going to just be stuff that you can do when they're there. Okay. So you want to begin to, as you're, even if you're working with someone, even if you are in a gym, you want to begin to be scientific about your own plan. You don't want to leave it up to only what you do. You want to ask that person a lot of questions, right? And really, really get to know and understand the things that you're doing and why, right? And then you can begin to come up with your own versions of what I'm talking about here today, okay? For me, it's dancing. For you, it might be something totally different. This is why I love Mondays, because on Mondays is the day that I get to share, all of my love, the music, and the things that I do, right? But it's not just on Mondays that I do it. And this is why I'm suggesting that everyone have their own version of this, right? You might not be as big into music as I am. So for you, maybe it's walking, right? Mall walking is still a thing. There are tracks at schools. Hiking is an amazing way to get steps in. Like if you live in a scenic area, and you can just kind of go walking in the woods, before you look up, you've done more steps than you realize. If you have to drive to a scenic area, for me, doing scenic routes is always better for me than doing tracks. I don't get the same type of motivation, if you will, and therefore not the same results when I walk on a track or run even on a track as I do when I have scenery. I don't know if that's true for you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's definitely something you should notice about yourself if it's true. If you're like me, then you're literally not going to get the same results walking on a track or running on a track or doing a stairmaster as you would walking in nature or walking where there's some scenery. I had to notice that about myself. I don't walk with the same, vigor. I'm not going to put it, just is not the same energy. And so this is important. This is why for me dancing is ideal. I used to teach different age groups, different um, styles of music, if you will. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but we have secular and we have religious or spiritual music of different faiths. But I've taught Zumba across all different types of music, and there's something to people having fun while they're exercising. There's something to it. There's something to it. Um, there was a song that I used to play. This particular song, this is the best example I can think of. There's this particular song, and this fits in both worlds because y'all know there's a lot of quote unquote secular artists and songs that are very famous where the people actually came out of like the church or they were gospel singers before or whatever. So, I don't really distinguish. So that's probably why I don't necessarily break them up like that. But Shaka Khan has a song called I Am Every Woman. And she originally put the song out, but it's been remade quite a few times. And one of the remakes is by Whitney Houston. And then there's a remake of it where they went and added, like, put it to house music. And so this song is probably every bit of 7 minutes long, maybe 6. It's like the Bohemian Rhapsody link type song where it goes on and on and on. And if people are just sitting there, it's like everybody's rocking out and they're loving it. But when you're doing squats or crunches, yeah, it's a whole nother conversation. And it's hilarious because, when the song starts off, people are like, oh my gosh, this is my song. I love it. Yay. Because when you're working out to music, oh yeah, you get excited when a good song comes on because you're like, oh yay, now I can, really zone out and enjoy the music. And, it's a feeling that you get, right? And so you kind of forget for a minute that you're sore because this is not at the beginning. We're gonna do this like deep into the workout where you're ready to quit, right? That's why I'm doing it. And so people start screaming when the song comes on because they're all excited. But like 2.5, 3 minutes into the song, it's like, okay, is it over yet? Are we done yet? And it just keeps going and going. And there's like 3 parts in the song where you think it's going to be over and it's not. And it's hilarious because I would always do the really hard parts, the crunches or like the squats on this particular song. And when we finally get to the end of the song, you hear people laughing and going, "Oh my goodness, I didn't think that song was ever going to be over. I can't believe I made it to the end." And it's always really fun to watch people do crunches or squats or whatever to the end of the song. They didn't think they could do it, but they get lost in the music. And so they forget that their legs are burning or that their abs are burning, right? It's like that, period, even if you're not in a class. If you put, if you, first of all, you got to make a playlist if you don't have one. Okay. You have to make a playlist that resonates with you in this way. I cannot be like, oh, put these songs on. It won't work like that for you, right? It only worked like that for me because these are the songs that resonate with me in a certain kind of way, right? So you got to make the playlist. Once you make this playlist and it has all of the songs on it that just really make you move, right? Inspire and make you move, right? We don't want you putting songs on that, there are songs that might make you move, but they don't make you feel so good. Okay, we don't want to do that. You definitely want to put on a song that makes you move and makes you feel good. And I got a whole list of them. I have been sharing them lately. High vibration music is what we call it. It is recorded at 432 hertz versus, I don't even know what the regular one is, but the regular one, you guys, you may or may not have ever noticed this, but regular hertz can add to anxiety. Or just in general, sort of a feeling of discomfort. Yeah, that's the way I want to describe it. This is why we listen to this music that has the different hertz. There's several, you guys. There are a lot of artists and musicians now that are doing this. I see you guys. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure you don't get timed out. There are a lot of artists and musicians that are doing this now, where you can either they're retuning music, right, where it kind of resonates a little bit better with us, and they are also creating music that is at this um, vibrational frequency. When I'm not doing what we're talking about, when I'm just relaxing and just like meditating, or if there's like a lot going on or something, I will put on the, is it 963? I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 963. You can find that all over YouTube. um but it makes a difference, you guys, because just like I'm saying, if you put the music on that gets you moving, and then you put your headphones on and you're washing dishes, cleaning your house, playing in the garden, doing whatever it is you do, right, and you're dancing in the process, and you're also being mindful and meditating and allowing your I don't want to get into all the technicals and the chakras and all of that kind of stuff, but um it only takes 3 minutes, okay, of this type of energetic, um, grateful type of mindfulness, right? And so now you're putting the mindfulness together with the activity, with the movement. Yeah. And so you're checking off your box of moving, you're checking off your steps, right? And you feel good. Don't forget your water, right? But you will notice at the end of it how good you feel about yourself, not just because you got up and you were moving, but because you're having fun. Dancing is one of the things that a lot of people have to get back to that they loved doing when they were a kid. Even if you weren't a dancer, right? Music comes on, little kids just start dancing, right? A lot of adults are sometimes too caught up in the conservative, looking a certain kind of way, being professional and all this kind of stuff, right? And so this is a very, very, very simple way to just sort of power up your body, power up your mind, and get back to who you used to be. The basics, the water, the natural, organic, the gardening, the not eating sugar and dairy, all of that is great. Okay, we're going to continue to talk about all of that. But this inspired movement, it can go a long way internally and externally. Grand Rising Terry, welcome and thank you for joining us on this fabulous Monday.
It is
How are you?
it is a fabulous Monday, and I didn't mean to come up so soon, but I was getting too inspired and overexcited by your talk, Andrea.
Perfect. Excellent. You
Yeah, we're
love
lost in.
music. I know you love music too.
Oh, it's the soundtrack to our lives, and the universe has its own soundtrack as well. And yeah, and frequency, of course. Yeah, 432 hertz. Quickly, I just mentioned that. If you listen to some of your favorite songs from 432 hertz, you get a whole different experience. You have to really feel it, baby. Anyway,
Wait. That's a great point. So I'm talking about some artists that I know that record music at this hertz. How do you
yeah.
take your favorite music and change it? Is there a simple way you could do that?
Well, you'll find, thanks to YouTube and very inspired people and creative people, almost all popular. Well, maybe not so obscure music, but you can find a lot of your favorite music in 432 hertz if you search for it. Yeah.
Get out out of town, Terry. I was not aware, and I have absolutely not done that. So literally, I can, my playlist is insane. So I could take my playlist and begin a search to go find all of these
Yeah,
songs in 432.
yeah. Well, my favourite song of all time, "Voodoo Child," Jimi Hendrix. I'm sure I found that in 432 hertz.
I
Uh,
love it.
yeah, and yeah, playlists, motivational, inspirational. Um, have you heard of the group Soul to Soul,
I
Andrea?
have. They're on my list, and they are on my top list of faves.
Yeah, Back to Life and
Back
Get a Life.
to life, back
Yeah,
to reality. Yes.
and
It's,
Get a Life. You're familiar with Get a Life by them as well?
uh, come on, sing a few
Oh yeah.
bars for me.
Hang on. Elevate your mind, free your soul, feel the feeling, and let your body take control.
Yes, yes, I know that one.
And all the children in the background go, "What's the meaning? What's the meaning of life?" That song always fills me with joy. And oh, it's a great story, Back to Life. Did you know the singer Karen Wheeler that she wrote the lyrics, and guess what it's based on? A near-death experience she had.
I
Yeah,
don't think I remember that. I do remember her, but I don't think I knew that story.
yeah, very motivational. And so she had that experience, and that's how she came up with the lyrics for that song. And yeah, I always felt a connection with that song as well. Um, yeah, oh, a few more motivational songs. Okay, let me think now. We're Lost in Music. Um, we're Lost in Music. You know that one, don't you? Everybody knows that one, surely.
By who? Terry, I
Sister
got.
Sledges.
Oh yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah. I
Lost
know
in
that one.
Music.
You're
Yeah,
listen. The way that you recall songs pre-90s is always impressive to me because now I got the 90s and 2000s laid on top of it. I can hardly remember the
mm,
titles of anything, but if I hear it, oh, I know it. If I hear it, if I hear the first few bars, I can catch it. What about
yeah.
What about Oh, they sung "Age of Aquarius,"
Oh
Fifth
yes,
Dimension.
Fifth Dimension. Oh, I'll tell you something. I think I spoke to you about this song last year, didn't I? I'm sure I did.
Yes, we did talk about it.
I used to hear that song when I was a boy, young boy, and it inspired something to me. There was something about that song. It connected, and I was only about 7 years old or 8 years old at the time. And yeah, and if you ever watch them sing that song live, it's amazing.
I've been
And
listening to that song my whole life and didn't even really understand it like I do now,
yeah,
and
it's
had
in
no
two
idea
parts.
why it was resonating with me the way that it
Yeah,
was.
it's two songs in one basically because what they did was I can't remember how it came about now, but it was originally from the song Hair. Sorry, the musical Hair. And what they did for the single, they put two of the songs together. So you had the Age of Aquarius and you had Let the Sunshine In, and then
Yes.
they made it into like the whole original single. And if you want,
Let the sunshine in.
oh god,
Yeah. I
if
love
you're
them
in the
so
flow,
much.
listen. If you put that song on when you're in the flow, it's like you'll be elevated to the fifth dimension in seconds. I tell you.
And you enjoyed, I sent you the link to Teebs Live. You enjoyed that, huh? Or did I? I can't remember if I sent you
I
the Spotify
I
or if I
did.
sent you live.
I did. It's very modern, of course, and but yeah, no, I definitely felt that. My favourite one out of that was "Miracles." Is
Oh
it
my
"Miracle"?
gosh, I love that song so much. You heard
Oh
that?
man,
Chris and Teebs, if you're
yeah.
listening, I sent that song to the UK and it vibrated. Hi.
God, I tell you something. The bass alone made me vibrate. Yeah, incredible.
hmm
Yeah. So, inspiration. There's many great ways to get yourself motivated on a Monday. You know, and as you said, I love walking as well, nature. And yeah, I think I said to Daryl only a little while ago, I said, I don't think of it as a Monday. I think of it as the first day of the rest of my life. Thank
Yeah.
you, Andrea.
Thank you, Terry, for stopping by. You have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. If you are watching on TikTok, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Andrea Raquel Young, and you're listening to Andrea in the Morning Grand Rising. This is a power up. We're just talking about health and wellness from the aspect of getting your week going, because how you start off is how you're going to go into the week. If you start this day complaining and mumbling and miserable and grudging that you don't want to get out of the bed and all this kind of stuff, you're going to go into the rest of the week like this. And sometimes you might not be able to figure out how to shake it off, right? I give you 2 opportunities to shake it off every single week where we specifically focus on this, right? On Monday, your music Monday is huge. It can set your tone, but you have to decide it. You don't just allow whatever's playing on the radio or on your phone to do it, right? And then on Wednesday, when I say hump day shift, that's the day for you to shake it off and keep it moving. Sometimes you have to unpack whatever it is that got you in a funk. Okay. This is what the DIY head extraction is. And we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. I have another guest. So, you guys, if you have not already been rocking with us at, well, if you're on the East Coast, you can catch it from 6 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast and you don't wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be more like 8 or 9 for you. Okay. But if you're on the East Coast, it's 9 o'clock, I'm saying. But, for us, it's a little early. And you guys, I want to say this, because just because I'm telling you to go listen to this music, I'm not telling you to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not. It gets confusing when we start talking about our wellness stuff, right? And somebody says, oh, do XYZ. Yeah, this is a wonderful thing to do. But if 6 a.m. is too early for you to get up because you have to stay up late or you work or you have to whatever, don't do that. You only need 3 minutes, y'all. And not for the fitness piece. We're talking about for the mindfulness piece. To make sure that you put your feet in the right direction going forward for the rest of the day and the week. 3 minutes is all you need to really, really commit to doing in the mornings. Get your 3 minutes. Put your little earbuds on while you're getting your stuff ready, getting your clothes, packing your stuff you got to pack for the day, whatever. Get that 3 minutes in. Get 5 or 10 if you can. But if you commit to doing it and if you set the intention, it'll be a lot easier. You won't miss it. And if you miss it, you'll miss it here and there, but you won't miss it regularly. Okay. If you haven't gotten that yet, I have a playlist as well, you guys. On Spotify, there's a Living Sugar Free playlist that I have been cultivating for years, years and years and years. Sometimes I take songs off, sometimes I add songs, okay? You will notice this playlist is a mixture of all different types of genres. I don't care what kind of music you like, there is music that you like on this list, okay? But what you'll notice is all of the songs are empowering. Okay. It ain't no, oh, you missing your ex type songs on there. None of that. Okay. And of course, I'm adding Chris and Teeb to the list. They just launched a new album days ago. And that song Terry just mentioned, Miracles. Do you believe in miracles? Hey, miracles. I love that song. That's going to be on there as well. All of Peachka's music, Elevate. Elevate. And she got one song, y'all. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. I love it. It's like old school hip hop, but with an older school vibration to it. It is so fire, you guys. Just you got to listen. You can get them on Spotify, you can get them on iTunes, and of course you can get them on my playlist. But I'm sending these links out. They only let me send so many out at a time, so I'm gonna get to everybody eventually. Grand Rising, Lois Hampson. Welcome, welcome, goddess. How are you today?
Oh, I'm most extremely blessed. Okay,
I
I'm
know
gonna
that.
say it like that. I'm most extremely blessed, and I like this power up thing because I got to power up every morning.
I
Okay,
know you do.
I don't leave it to chance. I don't leave nothing to chance. Sometimes I power up differently than I power up other days. Like today I'm using tuning forks to power up. Okay,
Is
uh,
it depending on how you're feeling? Do you plan it or is it just you just alternate?
I actually go through the inspiration on some things, like the tuning forks. I generally go on inspiration. If my body says you need to tune up today, I tune up today. But most days I do my basic energy exercises, which are simple, easy movements that you can do that raise your vibration quickly and puts you in a clear state of mind.
Do
you
you do
know.
traditional yoga? When you say movement, are you talking about just stretching, or do you do like official yoga?
Okay, I've made my own stuff.
Thank
Okay,
you, thank you. Explain
Wi-
more, please, Lois. Thank you.
okay, it's a mixture of Tai Chi, yoga, energy medicine, energy freedom technique. It's so many things in there. It's one more I'm missing. Um, and I understand that some of them is some Taekwondo movements. I didn't
Mhm.
know this is what.
This is so important what she's saying. This is why I wanted her to break it down, because a lot of us get kept from the solutions and the healing and the resources we need because we feel like if we don't have the exact name for it and the certification and take a class. But y'all, who's to say you can't be moving and stretching in your house? You don't need an endorsement to do this. Come on, Lois.
Okay, so the different movements are to do different things. I the tapping is to tap on the meridians to get that chi flowing and get that life force energy flowing, and then the focusing and doing the vocalizations of each chakra actually gets them in that alignment. Okay, so it's kind of like it may not be doing physical exercise like everybody else is doing, but when I get my energy moving and all that stuff in there, ain't no aches and pains going on. I think clearly because I'm tuning. I do a daily tune up, and sometimes, like I said, I do it with the tuning forks as well. But it's just different movements that I know that raise my vibration because I know my energy field around my body. So I do movements for my auric field, and then I do movements for my whole Merkaba. Besides that, tapping for my inner stuff. So it's kind of like to go from inside to outside with my exercises, and then knowing that all my organs are on my face and in my hands and on my feet. I stimulate various acupressure points to keep the energy flowing, emptying lymph nodes and all that kind of stuff. So it's a real holistic thing that I do, and Sharenta has been trying to get me recorded. But for me, it keeps everything moving because Sharenta says, Mama, this ain't as easy as you talking about. Look, I'm out of breath, and I'm like, well, because it's easy movements, and
Mhm.
you can put as much energy into it as you want to. But I found that me going to a gym, I'm not a gym rat. I
Me
can't do
neither.
that thing. It's
Me
not that
neither.
doesn't suit me well.
But let's
Um,
pause right there. Hold on, hold on. Let's pause right there, Lois. You are in your 60s. You just told us the other day. We still don't believe you. But anyway, you are. I've met Lois in person, y'all, and Lois is very slim and fit, okay? As am I. And we're two people, two women in our 50s and 60s saying we don't do the heavy lifting, heavy cardio. We do it in a different way. So, would you agree, Lois? Because I've been teaching on this for years.
mhm.
Would you not agree that the mindfulness piece and breathing through movements and breathing through stretching and yoga and all of that can, let me say can, y'all, have an even more heightened impact on your physical results because of the mindfulness that you're putting into it?
Yes, and I'm gonna say this, take it a step further. It's been scientifically proven through works of Jose Silva and quite a few other people that have taught military people and have taught other people how to use basketball players how to make more shots than the one who just practiced throwing the shots. They do a meditation where they see themselves visually hitting that ball, hitting all net, hitting all net, hitting all net, and they had one group. With meditation or mindfulness, and one group just regular old physical education. And the people that were mindful made more of their shots than the people who just trained their physical body. So, with that, they also noticed that even though they weren't working out as hard as the other people, doing it in their this is how strong our mind is. Doing it in their mind also was made their body was acquiescing to the fitness of them having thrown the ball through the hoop on some people that they tested that were not athletes. Okay. So I don't know whether it's muscle memory, what it is that goes on, but our minds have the power to do more when we're in a mindful state than when we're not.
Period.
Um, and and like I said, that those there are some studies out there that have shown this stuff. You guys can go look them up. The basketball player and the mindfulness in basketball, mindfulness and whatever, mindfulness and yoga, mindfulness, and it's in every sport because a lot of sport. sports medicine people understand that, and most of their programs have to do a large part with mindfulness. Even when you're talking about Tai Chi, karate, and all the martial arts, all of them have an element of mindfulness, which makes them understand the spatial awareness between them and their target and all that kind of good stuff. So, yes, I'm going to
Period.
say mindfulness does has a much more profound effect than just one thing alone. But then again, we're a multidimensional being,
That
so why
part.
wouldn't it?
That
Okay,
exact.
why would so you got
Exact.
to do it internally in your mind, with your food, and with your body? How about that?
Exact. Thank you so much. And exactly, just like we talked the other day about speaking to the water.
Yeah.
So if we're doing the mindful thing and we're speaking to the water
Hmm.
and we're just moving and breathing through our movements, like literally, I don't know about you, Lois, but when I'm doing any type of stretching, yoga, even interpretive dance, all of
Hmm.
this sort of slow movement that allows you to do this qigong, tai chi, all of them.
Hmm.
Breathing and being mindful through these moments gives you this it's it's like a joy of being in your body.
It's an energizing feeling. It's an elation. It's like,
Yeah,
wow, it's a transcendence you feel.
yeah,
And you can't I don't get that when I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm gonna
exactly.
say this. When I was in all that pain from all them 46 diseases that was in my body, okay, and everything hurt, the second thing besides cleaning the window, which is Tokyo, which is but starting the movement, I was told to sing, then I was told to go dance. Okay, I would put a chair by the stage. I talked about this before. Put a chair near the dance floor so I can sit down. But I found that when I was dancing, I felt no pain in my body whatsoever. And as long as I was dancing, I was good. But as soon as the music stopped and I stopped, the pain would come back. So that, I don't know why that it was, probably because I love dance so much. When I'm dancing, I'm in that zone, that zone. And that's when I said, I want to be in that zone all the time. Okay. And now I'm in that zone all the time, mostly. Okay. Sometimes I get shaken by some rattle, like my aunt dying and stuff. That rattled me a little bit this weekend. But,
I'm sorry for your
oh,
loss. I know you don't do sorries, but
oh
just
yes. But,
condolences.
but hey, she's not suffering anymore. So
Mhm.
I'm okay.
I
But the
say
whole thing is that we still get shaken by stuff.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, we
That's the
still get
listen,
shaken by.
that's the reality of this enlightenment journey, this leveling up journey. It is for us. We have had this conversation multiple times of it's not like since we've been doing this, since we all met, since we've been doing these type talks, it ain't like all the problems go away because there are other people around you.
Hmm.
People are gonna still have their issues. People are still gonna you're still gonna experience loss. And if we would be inhuman or what psychopaths if it just didn't affect us at all, you know.
Okay, I mean, if people tell me about different things, about a lot of stuff affects me, because the thing is I don't like to see anybody hurt.
That's right.
Okay, that's the bottom line. I don't like to see anybody hurt, and I don't like to see anybody struggling to for their self esteem. I don't like to
Right.
see. I don't like. These are things that I don't like to see.
That's
Now,
what gets me
I ain't
too.
gonna. But I don't turn a blind eye to it. Okay, I'm gonna
That's
say
right.
that I don't turn a blind eye to it. I do something about it. I don't
That's
complain
right.
about it. I do something about it.
That's right. And
I'm
acting
there.
like doing the whole, oh, I'm vibrating high, I don't do drama, that's not helping us or them. That's not real.
Mm-mm.
Seeing it, leaning into it, seeing what you could do about it, and
Man, we
then
can transmute
sometimes,
that energy, girl.
yeah, and then sometimes releasing it and being okay with the fact that you can't do nothing. That's the
Yeah.
growth and the journey.
And there it is right there. Accepting those things you can change, and know those you cannot, and then knowing the
That's right.
wisdom to know the difference.
That's
And
right.
and then and then you'll know when it's when you're supposed to do something, something inside you will tell you exactly what the fuck to do.
That's right. That's
You
right.
don't go over there and say, "Oh, well, I'm so sorry that happened to you, and this happened to me, and this happened to me, and this happened to me," with no recourse,
That's
because
right.
all you're doing is putting a heavier brick on the top of the bricks that already been laid.
That's right.
So if you can't alleviate the suffering, leave it alone. Then
That's
you
right.
pray for it. The first thing I do is when I see suffering is I hope ponopono that shit. Excuse my
Yeah.
language, but I hope ponopono that. And I pray for the people, whether it's the homeless on the corner or the person that looks like they have lost their mind psychologically. I'm praying for the people. And then if I'm inspired to go and do more, then I go do more. But
We
I'm
have so
such
many new people, Lois. Tell them what the whole Ho'oponopono prayer is.
Oh, the Ho'oponopono is a reconciliation and forgiveness prayer that's meant for you, but the Ho means to make, and Pono means right, and the last part means right. And it's a Hawaiian ritual that they did whenever somebody had a problem with somebody else in the village because they believe that, and I believe this too, that everything is all one. And if we have an aberration in one area, we're throwing the whole system off. So we must bring it back into balance with our brother and sister that we feel offended. So if you have a problem with your brother or sister, you can't solve between you two, you're supposed to go to the elders. And the elders will have you say everything that you need to say and clear your air and let them say what they need to do and clear their air. And if y'all agree, y'all don't agree, it doesn't matter because at the end of this ceremony, everything is squashed and you're brought in right standings with yourself and
Yeah.
yourself and others, or yourself and the environment. Because some people were killing the animals and not eating every part. You know, this is indigenous stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had to answer for that with this whole ponopono to bring, because they would think that if you're not in harmony, the spirits and the energies would not supply all the needs in a regular sustainable basis, as opposed to here we having drought, people don't ask what are we doing in our environment, you know what I'm saying, but the whole thing is it's all about bringing balance.
Mm-hmm.
And and if you see somebody and they're struggling, part of it, by you noticing that, it means that you're a part of that, whether it's in this lifetime or a previous lifetime. So when you say I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I thank you, you're clearing the air with you and yourself, with you and them, and with you and the environment. And the thing is that it doesn't matter whether or not you say the whole Ponopono prayer to anybody else or not. All you have to do is say it for yourself and for you to be clear. Because anytime we have aught or have a problem with somebody else, it's because we have formed a judgment about them and we just put them in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when we have judgments, we start acting on that label or that judgment, whatever it is. And anytime we experience that person, whether they change or not, we're going to experience the judgment we placed upon them. So we're actually freeing ourselves. That's why we're saying, I'm sorry. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying please forgive me, you're asking your inner self to please forgive your outer self.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for
Yeah.
doing that to you. And then when you say I love you, you're saying I love me enough not to judge my brother, because as I judge him, I'm putting judgment on me. Okay,
Yes.
and then you say I'm thankful, because now you're grateful because you're all in right standing, and now the spirit and everything can flow for you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Perfect, y'all. Listen, that's the perfect wrap up. That's the perfect wind down, because that right there, listen, that's how you get to everything else we're talking about. Sometimes you can't do all the other stuff we're talking about because of this. And if you do this and then get into that dance movement with the gratitude, that's a wrap. That's all
Okay.
the bases covered. That's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much
Oh,
for
no
stopping by
problem.
today. I appreciate you always.
Oh, no problem. I love you, Andrea, and I will join as much as I can because I love this powering up. Because I'm gonna say this, because I got a new attitude when I realized I had to be in control. Now, work with that one. Bye.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lois. I look forward to talking to you again later in the week. I know you got some good stuff and you're going to tell us more about that. You guys, Daryl is going to be on Noom Vibe talking more about this Monday thing, which I really like it because human technology, y'all, is vast. We are some very powerful beings, okay? And being able to write the course, being able to put the cart back on the road, if you will, with whatever it is, right? Whether it's your insides or your outsides or your external. Like we are methodically, scientifically getting down to the bottom of how we be scientific about our own stuff, right? How we can become engineers in our own lives with our own wellness and with our own attraction and manifestations, right? Because now that we know we have the power to do this, what are you manifesting? What are you attracting, right? If you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you're not feeling good about yourself, all these types of things, the manifestations are just everywhere, and you just don't even understand why you're attracting the things you're attracting. But it's because you're powerful and you're calling things to yourself and you don't even know it. Okay. And so we're going to keep on digging in, y'all. This has been super fun today. I appreciate everyone who joined me on Noom. We're going to do a little different transition on TikTok, you guys, because we got some other stuff coming up on TikTok. But for my Noom Vibe people, you guys continue on this wellness discovery and just keep doing the holistic thing and you'll get there. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not cookie cutter yourself or try to do what everybody else says you should do or compare yourself. No comparing, okay? No comparing. Everybody is different. Even if some of us are similar in some ways, everybody is still different, okay? From genetics to blood types to preferences and allergies to location, all of this kind of stuff. So please, 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 if we could do anything right now to change collectively when it comes to this stuff, let's normalize being individuals and not comparing ourselves or trying to cookie cut or letting somebody spoon feed us a solution or any of that. We have to individually research our own solutions for ourselves, period. Otherwise, we don't know what we're doing. Like I could order out tomorrow from whatever the top wellness food, blah, 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 and have everything delivered to my house. Okay. But because of the type of diet that I'm going to request, because of the things I don't eat, I would bet you $100 there's going to be shrimp in the box. And if I don't tell them that I'm allergic, there might be shrimp in there next to other stuff. And then that's going to be a whole thing, right? So that's just one thing, you guys. I just have one allergy. A lot of people have a whole lot of them. Okay. So like I said, from allergies to blood types to just so much stuff that we have to consider. It's not necessarily that the person that you talk to was bad. It's not necessarily these people are marketing are all bad. It's just that you got to go on a journey for a long time to realize that the nuances in all of this stuff is where we are going to really, really find wellness and liberation and all this kind of stuff. It's in the nuance. It's not in the cookie cutter two sides that are arguing with each other. You're in the middle. Okay. So Noom, I will look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow for the Tech Tuesday Wellness Day. I love doing the tech wellness. Most people wouldn't even think of that, right? I know because when I was in college and I was writing papers about psychology and technology and they were not trying to hear, they were like, what? That's crazy. It's not secure, blah, blah, blah. And I got a whole paper. I put it on the internet because I was feeling myself like, here we are, right where I said we were going to be. But we're going further. We're going higher. We're going left, if you will. And so the AI and the GPT and the Fitbits and the what do you call them? The goggles. They got Ray-Ban glasses and they got Meta goggles and they got Apple goggles and all kinds of stuff. And when it comes to wellness, okay, so first of all, for ableist reasons, you don't want to be ableist. You don't want to talk about any of this stuff in a way that is excluding others. So just based on your experience, you think, oh, well, everybody should just do XYZ. But in reality, it's a whole group of people that can't do X or Y. And you don't realize it because you never really experienced a lot of people like that, you see. I've taught Zumba. What do we call it? Chair Zumba? It's a whole thing. Chair Zumba is a whole thing. Why? Because everybody can't get up and jump around. You see, but we do all need wellness. All of us need holistic total wellness. But if we're doing it on an individual basis, scientifically, taking care and loving on ourselves and investing in our own customized solution, then we will be less likely to be judgmental about it and be lumping other people into boxes as we go out and try to empower others, right? Because everything doesn't work for everybody. It just doesn't. Okay, for a lot of reasons. Okay, so all righty, y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. For